for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. ZiFM Sport is brought to you by One Money, the mobile money service from Net1. One Money. It's one time.
It certainly is one money, one time. A wacky Wednesday. The wacky team are in the house for tonight's edition of a wacky Wednesday. Brought to you, of course, by One Money and Net1. It's an action-packed show tonight. It's about the mighty Warriors. The mighty Warriors have done their job this afternoon. It's now up to the Warriors in the COSAFA Cup tonight when they take on Lesotho at 7:30 this evening. The full team in the house tonight: Mike Madora, Barry Menandi, Alois Punjira, myself, Mark Pozzo, and behind the scenes, our producer, Sean Tefaranika. What is happening on the home front, Baz?
Well, leading, of course, is that news that you spoke about, Mark, which is the mighty Warriors who have taken a huge step towards qualification for Ghana 2018 Africa Women's Cup of Nations finals after beating Zambia 1-0 away in Lusaka. We'll talk about that a bit later on. Now, in tennis news, Benjamin Locke, his brother Courtney, advanced to the single second round in the F2 Futures tournament at Harare Sports Club as Andile Suwanda and Mark Chigazira were knocked out. According to reports, Australia's upcoming 2020 International Tri-Series in Zimbabwe is under threat, with Zimbabwe players reportedly issuing an ultimatum to their governing body saying, pay us by June the 25th or boycott the series.
Oh, well, we'll have some international sports news for you as well. And England flanker Chris Robshaw says the players are pushing each other to the limit to make sure they are ready for their 3-match tour of South Africa, which gets underway in Johannesburg on Saturday. Unseeded Italian Marco Cecchinato caused a major upset at the French Open by knocking out former champion Novak Djokovic Nole to reach the semi-finals yesterday. And Cavaliers coach Tyronn Lue says he'll switch up his rotation in Game 3 of the NBA Finals by giving minutes to seldom used wing Rodney Hood against the Golden State Warriors.
To the beautiful game, Manchester United have completed the signing of defender Diogo Dalot from Porto. According to sources, Massimiliano Allegri's reluctance to take the Real Madrid job has turned the troubled European champions towards another Italian coach, Antonio Conte. With 8 days left until the start of the FIFA World Cup, tonight we preview Group A and Group B.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
We start, of course, with the good news coming out of Zambia, where the mighty Warriors have taken a huge step towards qualification for Ghana 2018 African Women's Cup of Nations finals after beating Zambia 1-0 away in Lusaka. Rutendo Makore scored the crucial away goal in the 18th minute, and the mighty Warriors lined up as followed: Chido Zingirai in goal, Nobuhle Majika, Lynette Mutokuto, Sheila Makoto, Nobukosi, Ngube Talent Mandaza, Immaculate Musipa, Marjorie Nyaumwe, Felicitas Muzongondi, Berita Kabwe, and of course goal scorer Rutendo Makore. Great performance by the mighty Warriors, and this is what you wanted in a two-legged affair, isn't it, Bunch? Get the away victory, come home, finish the job.
Yeah, of course, they did us proud. Rutendo Makore coming from Europe, European best, coming to do the business.
I know you like this player.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I like this player. I think she can actually play in the Premier League. Yeah, she can. And I thought
Which Premier League?
Exactly.
Our local Premier League?
Yeah,
No, come on.
No.
Okay,
I thought you meant for the women.
In there. Look, this team is strong.
Yeah.
I follow the mighty Warriors a lot, and I think the coach Queen 15. I think this is the strongest team that she can have available at the moment. If it was me, I would exactly said the same team as it is. I think we took our strongest team this time around and they brought out the results. I hope that no one was injured, come back in 4 days time for the return leg and finish the business. The team is strong.
And that's what you want, isn't it, Mike? A quick turnaround. You're on a high, you're still buoyant. Come back home, finish the job in 4 days on Sunday and get qualification.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you've won away. And it was never an easy match, this one against Zambia. Zambia is a nation that would have thought, listen, we can take on Zimbabwe and hopefully go to Harare with a lead. But Zimbabwe upstaged them. We got the goal nice and early in the 18th minute. And what I like is the character as well as the resilience shown by the girls, that they were able to hold out and keep Zambia scoreless. I think it was important that they denied Zambia a goal. And so what Zimbabwe will be hoping for is to finish the business this coming Sunday at Rufaro Stadium. And the only thing that can derail Zimbabwe's campaign is perhaps complacency. Let's hope that no complacency creeps into camp. If they play and approach the game in the manner that they did, they should win this one.
Early.
Yeah, they should win at Rufaro and move on in the competition.
100%.
We have a strong team here.
The hope will be that we can get out the blocks as early as we did in this first leg, so that the tie already, by the time we get to the 20th minute, is looking out of sight for Zambia.
Yeah, because the longer the game goes, let's say at Rufaro Stadium, and Zambia somehow managed to keep it scoreless in the first half. The longer the game goes in the second half, then it's good for Zambia, because they are just saying to themselves, our equation hasn't changed.
Yes.
We need one goal to stay in it.
Yeah.
So we have to score. So they'll just be hoping to score as late as possible and keep Zimbabwe scoreless. And then it becomes, all the pressure transfers onto Zimbabwe, because you never know what could happen now. They get one, they could get two. Then all of a sudden the away goals are in Zambia's favor. So we need to make sure that no complacency creeps in here.
100%. So the Mighty Warriors doing well. Job not done yet, but certainly this is a step in the right direction. As we said, the second leg will be played on Sunday at Rufaro Stadium. So let's turn out and support the Mighty Warriors. And this being the final round of qualifying matches, the winner of the two-legged tie will qualify for the finals to be played in Ghana from the 17th of November to the 1st of December 2018. We want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that we also want is to hear from you, your congratulatory messages for the Mighty Warriors who beat Zambia earlier today. Send us those on WhatsApp, 0731 168 045. That's 0731 168 045. And on Twitter and Facebook, we are ZiFM Sport. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, it is important that we always back our girls, especially when they do well.
ZiFM Sport, proudly delivered by One Money. It's one time.
Moving on with the rest of our local sports news roundup, we'll start on the tennis court, where Benjamin Locke and his brother Courtney advanced to the singles second round in the F2 Futures tournament at Harare Sports Club, as Andile Sibanda and Mark Chigazira were knocked out. Benjamin beat Nigerian Ime Ubon 6-1 6-love, while Courtney saw off Durav Sunish 7-6 6-3. Chigazira found it tough against American William Bushmuka, losing 6-3 6-4, and Sibanda fell 6-2 6-3 to Indian Urag Nyenwani. To cricket, and according to reports, Australia's up-and-coming T20 International Tri-Series in Zimbabwe is under threat, with Zimbabwe players reportedly issuing an ultimatum to their governing body saying, pay us by June the 25th or we'll boycott the series. A Zimbabwe-Pakistan T20 is slated for the 1st of July in Harare to kickstart the tournament, also featuring a strong Australian outfit. However, according to an ESPN report, players are still waiting on match fees from last July's tour of Sri Lanka, as well as 3 months' salary. To the COSAFA Cup, and Zimbabwe will be banking on history to repeat itself tonight when they meet Lesotho in a COSAFA Cup semi-final for the third time in 6 years, with the Warriors seeking to underline their dominance over Luquenya. The starting lineup for tonight is George Chigova in goal, Jamison Mukombwe, Alec Madimu, Kevin Moyer, Divine Lunga, Marshall Munetsi, Tafadzua Coutinho, Kama Billiot, Abbas Amidu, Terence Zrekamanja, and Evans Rasike.
One Money from Net One. It's one time.
Today's edition of ZiFM Sport are proudly brought to you by One Money, one of the most exciting products coming out of Net One. And of course, you can pay and win with One Money in the OK Grand Challenge, of course, which finished this past weekend. And we had this great draw that was happening where you could do exactly that. And of course, the draw was held and Mathaza were won. And we just want to announce our winners here live on air, like we promised to do. The third prize of $1,500 went to the following number: 0714885869. The second prize of $2,500 went to 0712803836.
Hey, that's my number.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Well, I'll be putting in an application for a loan then. And then the first prize, which was a whopping $5,000, went to 0713901008. Congratulations to our top three winners. And of course, we also want to congratulate the 10 winners that walked away with $100 each, and the 50 winners that were winning $50 bi-weekly. And of course, this was happening throughout the promotion. That is the OK Grand Challenge jackpot promotion. So there were Mathaza to be won, and we delivered on our promise. It's one time with One Money.
Introducing the one, the only One Money from Net One. A more convenient way to send, receive, pay, or get paid with mobile money. Want to buy Zesa or pay your bills? Check. Buy airtime or send money to GoGo? No doubt. Buy your groceries or even vegetables at the market? It's all good. You can even move money from your bank account to your wallet and swipe using the One Money card on all SimSwitch platforms. There is so much more you can do with One Money. Just dial *111# and open up a world of convenience. That's *111#. One Money. Send and receive, pay and get paid with One Money from Net One. It's one time.
One Money. It's one time.
The municipality of Chinhoyi would like to advise its stakeholders that council, at its ordinary council meeting held on the 15th of May 2018, resolved to offer a 30% payment incentive for the coming 30 days with immediate effect. The incentive is meant to encourage clearance of utility bills by all residents and corporates. For every dollar paid, the customer will be credited with $1 plus 30 cents incentive. This promotion is for all residents, corporates, schools, churches, and institutions on their rates and services bills. All residents and stakeholders are encouraged to take advantage of this promotion and settle their accounts with council. Please note that this promotion applies only to service charges and rates, and the offer is valid until 30 June 2018. Chinhoyi, city of choice by 31 December 2018.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
Hi, my name is Rune Shamba, Mightoria's Super Striker. You're listening to ZiFM Sport.
ZiFM Sport, the most interactive sports show anywhere on Zimbabwe radio. Why do we say that? That's because we allow you to have your say your way on WhatsApp 0731-168-045. That number again 0731-168-045. Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport. And the punters are weighing in. It's a very good evening to you, Chichi Sabeta, my good sister. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you say, proud of my sisters. I'm confident of a smooth journey to Ghana and France for the World Cup as well. So, hey, she's casting her vision very far. And she says, I'll be at Rufaro cheering them come Sunday. So, thank you so much for that message. Another one coming in from Maureen Mushipe. Hanzi makorokoto vazukuru vanehanda rambai muchiita basa aiwa. Those are some of the messages that are coming in.
Yeah, there's some messages on our WhatsApp platform as well. Marco Bandira in Chitungwiza or Chicken Twiza. He says, hi guys. I just want to say Makoroko Tamklope to our girls. We are proud of you ladies. And then this one is from Joe Nkani in Harare. He says, Rutendo Makore is certainly better than Benza of a rental. So he agrees with you, Alan.
Okay, good evening to Jerry Chamisa. Nice to know that you're listening. He says, big up to the ladies setting the pace for their male counterparts. And of course, the male counterparts will be in action tonight. They take on Lesotho in the second semi-final of the COSAFA Cup 2018. Talking about the first semi-final, we can tell you that Zambia and Madagascar are currently locked in action. And Chipolopolo, the Copper Bullets, they have hit their mark. They're leading 1-0 after 71 minutes. So it looks like Zambia may well book their ticket into the final of the 2018 COSAFA Cup. Time to go international.
Zimbabwe's finest three. ZiFM Stereo. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Okay, let's go to rugby, where England flanker Chris Robshaw says the players are pushing each other to the limit to make sure that they're ready for their three-match tour of South Africa, which gets underway at Ellis Park, Johannesburg on Saturday. Robshaw was captain of the England squad that last toured South Africa in 2012, and despite a Stuart Lancaster coach side losing the series 1-0 with the second test at Ellis Park ending in a 14-all draw, he's expecting a closely fought run of matches this time around. Taking a look in the South African camp, Mbonambi appears to set to play for the Springboks against England on Saturday, despite a serious lack of game time in 2018, with Bismarck du Plessis having been ruled out of the first test due to his late arrival from Montpellier. Mbonambi has emerged as a possible starter for this weekend's clash, which will be played, of course, in Johannesburg. Let's get the thoughts of new Springbok captain Siya Kolisi, who will lead the Boks for the first time on Saturday.
Yeah, to be honest, I think when I played my first game, it will really hit me that I'm a Springbok captain, and you know me, I'm just proud to be just a captain, and it means a lot to me, and it's a huge privilege and an honor, and I think I'll realize it when I'm playing and when it's the week of the test match. But for now, I've just been working and doing what I have to do to help the guys that are going to Wales. We've been training as a Welsh kind of team, so we haven't really focused on England yet. So, and the coach hasn't put a lot of pressure on me. All he wants for me is to play well and be the person that I am. He knows I'm not a man of many words, and he's been with me since I was 18 years old. So he hasn't put a lot of pressure on me. He knows me very well. So I'm not going to lie here and say it's a new coaching staff. I still have to get to know him. I know him very well. I know Coach Stickborough very well. So we won't have excuses after, and say, no, we're still getting to know each other. So that's out of the window.
Oh, Mark, you've got to say that there'll be a lot of responsibility placed on the shoulders of Siya Kolisi. I mean, what a game to be captain for the very first time against an England side, which is generally recognized as being one of the best sides in world rugby at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big day for him on Saturday at Ellis Park, and good luck to him, because I've always believed that he's got the capabilities of leading a Springbok side. Look, I think he's coming into a side that's going to be, I think, a little bit underdone against the English. But in saying that, I believe this series is going to go down to the wire. I don't believe it's going to be 3-0 to either South Africa or England. It is going to go one apiece, and the decider in Cape Town will determine the winner of the series. So it's going to be a tough series. But I think today we've heard the news that there's no Bismarck du Plessis. He got injured for Montpellier this weekend, and he's been ruled out. So too has Frans Steyn. So for me, they're losing some experience, especially in the front row with du Plessis. I'm not a great fan of du Plessis, but you know what, he does bring the experience, and I think a front row, the boxed front row, I think might just struggle a little bit against a very, very tough English pack.
Oh, well, Barry, you take a look at the stats. I mean, South Africa are unbeaten in their last 5 home clashes against England and have lost just one of their last 13 meetings, okay? Yeah. But let's take a look at the rugby that's been played in the last 12 months.
For sure.
England have been more convincing.
Yeah.
South Africa have been anything but that.
Exactly, and I think the statistics that then challenges the one you just gave us is the fact that England, being one of the best rugby sides in terms of the rugby they're playing at the moment in the world, and Eddie Jones' side is very different to anything that the Springboks have faced before. So, like Mark is saying, I don't think that the Springbok side has got enough in the tank to certainly blow away this English side. Similarly, I don't think England are as good. They are fantastic, but I think this is going to be a very competitive set of tests. And I agree with Mark. It's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be a 2-1 to either side. I can't say which.
Alois, I mean, we talk about the importance of teams playing each other, especially a team playing title contenders in the lead up to major tournaments. And South Africa playing New Zealand regularly enough for them to gauge where they are versus the All Blacks, who are the world champions and the team ranked number 1. But now they have an opportunity to gauge themselves against England, the team that's ranked number 2, and say, okay, we may not be as good as the All Blacks, but how do we measure up against the other teams?
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to actually check themselves out. Like, where are we? We might not be number 1, but can we be number 2? I think they are looking at themselves and like, you know what? If we can't be number 1, we can be number 2. So playing against England, this is a team that is at number 2. If they can beat England at that, then they can actually tell themselves, you know what? We can actually be number 2 and push and get closer to New Zealand. So I think this is actually a way in for them to actually see where they are. Are they number 2 or number 3?
Right, the All Blacks midfield combination is just one of the tough challenges they face ahead of the Test series against France, says their assistant coach Ian Foster. With All Black stalwart Ryan Crotty passing his fitness test, the Crusaders centre is certain to start on Saturday. However, with no Sonny Bill Williams, who's out with a knee injury, Crotty's partner remains a mystery. Let's hear from the All Blacks assistant coach Ian Foster.
We go into these series with, we want to try and study them as much as we can, but largely it's about us really going through and making sure we're not hesitant and trying to think about too many things. So if we run fast, catch well, run nice lines, get our passing game going, then after that we make the adaptations based on what they do.
Aussie training today, did all your guys with question marks or niggles or whatever hip problems, did everyone train well? You got a full crew?
Yep, the list looked quite long on Sunday, and there's no doubt there's been a lot of sore bodies, but I thought we trained with probably a little bit more intensity than what I expected. So overall I think they've done a pretty good job of the recovery, and all the guys that have had some niggles and maybe been out for a little while have sort of contributed pretty well. So it's a nice little test for us and see how they respond over the next couple of days, but overall pretty happy today. I'm answering questions about probably the 2 hardest areas we've had at selection, midfield and outside backs, and a lot of that is really, the hard decisions are based on who's not here rather than who's here, isn't it? So when we've got our mix, we're clearly it's a matter of how we juggle the skill sets that we've got, so how we deal with Ben, because clearly he's, I'm not giving too much away to say that he's in there. So it's a matter of how we juggle the talent set, the skill set around him. And
Mike, you got to actually laugh at this because it remains a mystery. They've just got so many options, haven't they?
Yeah, so many options. I think if they want to go with continuity, with a guy who's been in and around the team and knows the team setup more than the other guys, then they go with Anton Leonard-Brown. He's played in midfield before. If they want to go with a guy who's going to bring in that X factor and a bit of unpredictability, some running power in midfield, they go with Ngani Laumape. If they want to go with a debutant to see exactly how he's going to do in the new setup, then they go with Jack Goodhue. So and then never mind the 3 or 4 other guys who haven't even made the squad. So there's so much depth in that area. Whoever they choose to play in midfield is going to likely do very well against a France side which admittedly is not the best in world rugby at the moment.
No, definitely. Now, the other intriguing area of selection is the back three, and in that interview, he let it slip that Ben Smith will probably be in the starting 15, but did not mention whether the tried and tested Naolu or Ricky Aini will complete the back three. So they're sort of keeping their cards quite close to their chest, are they?
Yeah, they are. But at the same time, even if they had let slip as to what the back three would be, and I'm glad that you giggled at the start, because to be honest, no matter who they field, they're still going to have a fantastic side. Listen to the names that you talked about. Waisake Naholo, you look at Rico Ioane, those players are some of the best players in their positions in the world. So no matter who runs out the run on 15, whoever it is, they'll destroy.
Yeah, absolutely. In backup, they got Nehe Milner-Skada.
Yeah.
They got Jody Barrett as well.
Barrett, yeah.
So no matter who they pick, but the one thing, if you ever notice the All Blacks, they rarely make wholesale changes.
No.
Rarely make wholesale. They make you earn your place in the team. Exactly. So you just don't get called up to the squad and then you say, oh no, they're going to beat France and so I'm likely to play. No, you earn, and that's why guys value the shirt so much. When they do play, they want to perform and make sure that they keep that jersey.
Hi, this is Benjamin Locke. I'm on the Zimbabwe Davis Cup team and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Around the world in 60 seconds, international sports news.
We take off from France, where unseeded Italian Marco Cecchinato caused a major upset in the French Open by knocking out former champion Novak Djokovic 6-3, 7-6, 1-6, 7-6 to reach the semi-final yesterday. In today's action, Maria Sharapova's French Open comeback was ended in straight sets defeat by ruthless Gabine Muguruza. The Russian was swept aside 6-2, 6-1 by Spanish third seed Muguruza. Meanwhile, world number one Simona Halep will face Gabine Muguruza in the semi-finals following a hard-fought 6-7, 6-3, 6-2 win over Angelique Kerber. Staying in France, major champion Sergio Garcia has confirmed he will make his debut appearance at the Open de France, the third of 8 events on the European Tour's race to Dubai. The Spaniard becoming the latest player to join the star-studded field at Le Golf National from the 18th of June to the 1st of July. Across the U.S. state of Ohio, Cavaliers coach Tyrone Lue says he will switch up his rotation in Game 3 of the NBA Finals by giving minutes to seldom-used wing Rodney Hood against the Golden State Warriors. Hood was the Cavs starting shooting guard in their playoff opener, a 98-80 loss to the Indiana Pacers, and has seen his role diminish dramatically since then, going from a bench player to receiving 6, did not play in Cleveland's past 10 games. Touching down in news from New York, where we end on a wacky note, the yawning chasm between the worlds of men and women's sport was vividly illustrated by Forbes when Forbes, the US business magazine, published its annual list of 100 highest earning sports people, and not one female featured on it. Serena Williams was the only female athlete to make the top 100 last year, and she missed almost an entire 12 months of action, during which she gave birth to her daughter Alexis. The 23-time Grand Slam champion still banked an estimated $18 million through sponsorship, but was not enough to make the top 100.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport.
All right, time for the beautiful game. If sura yako is a beautiful face, I wonder what the beautiful game is in Swahili. And nonetheless, you can send us a message if you do know. In the meantime, we're talking football, where Manchester United have completed the signing of defender Diogo Dalot from Porto, the 19-year-old who was understood to have a €20 million release clause in his contract at the Estadio Dragao, and underwent a medical with Manchester United. Dalot has signed a 5-year contract with an option to extend for a further year, and becomes Jose Mourinho's second signing in the summer after Brazilian midfielder Fred joined for a fee in excess of 50 million quid. Massimiliano Allegri's reluctance to take the Real Madrid job has turned the troubled European champions towards another Italian coach. Antonio Conte, the Chelsea boss, is emerging as the only manager with a recent proven track record who is likely to be available this off-season. Tomorrow will mark 1 week without a manager since Zinedine Zidane left Madrid after disagreeing with the board over plans for next season.
Wow, interesting, right? Rafael Varane admitted former head coach Zinedine Zidane will be hard to replace, and it will take a strong character to lead Real Madrid next season. Zidane surprisingly left the Santiago Bernabeu last week after 2.5 years, guiding the club to 3 successive Champions League titles and 9 trophies in total. France international defender Varane, who made over 40 appearances for Madrid this past season, and now acknowledged that it will be hard for the next coach to match his achievements amid links with Tottenham's Mauricio Pochettino and Juventus boss Massimiliano Allegri. And on a wacky note, Fabian Delph probably thought life couldn't get much better after he was confirmed in England's final squad for the Russia World Cup. Happily, the midfielder was given even a bigger cause to smile this week after being presented with a personalised gift from a brand close to his heart. Bradford-born Delph recently joked that he would be packing plenty of Yorkshire tea to take out to Russia for the next month, and it seems the famous British tea makers were listening.
Wow. ZiFM Stereo is untouchable. Jogo Bonito, Tiki Taka, Catenaccio, Total Football. It's a football celebration where only the best are invited. Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Salah, Mane. The stars come out to play on your Russia 2018 World Cup update on ZiFM Sport.
It's your World Cup build-up on ZiFM. And of course, yesterday we gave you an overview of how things stand in Russia, all the background information you need to know, the cities that will play host, the stadiums that of course will be the arenas on which the biggest stars in the world of football will play over the course of the next 6 weeks in Russia. And today we get into the groups, the teams themselves that will feature in the biggest show on earth, starting with Group A, where Uruguay are the overwhelming favorites to progress from that group at the World Cup. But the identity of their fellow qualifiers appears to rest largely on the fitness race of Egyptian talisman Mohamed Salah. The prolific white man picked up a shoulder injury in Liverpool's Champions League final loss to Real Madrid and is a doubt to take his place in their opener. Regardless, the Pharaohs will break a record in Russia with their goalkeeper Essam El Haddadi said to become the oldest man ever to play at a World Cup at the age of 45. And it's the second time that Innocent Menza is being mentioned here in the studio.
He's quite popular here.
Yeah,
very popular.
Very popular. But you've got to say, of course, Essam El Haddadi, I'll be very surprised if he's the first choice goalkeeper for Egypt. I mean, of late he hasn't been. I think he's a squad player, good for motivation, good, of course, to inspire the youngsters in and around him, because when you go to a major tournament like this, Barry, sometimes you need those players that have been at major tournaments. He hasn't been at the World Cup, but he's been at countless African Cup of Nations tournaments.
And won it. I think he's won it, 4 times, I think, in his career. And so having won major tournaments like that, any player who's coming into the squad is going to listen to what he's got to say. And in truth, at 45 years old, you're bound to be one of the senior pros that's going to have a voice in that dressing room, and you need that for motivation. You can't buy that.
Mark, Russia is in this group, and you take a look at them. I mean, when we talk about the players to watch, Igor Akinfeev. I mean, the listeners out there who are saying, who the bloody hell is he? He has 100 caps for his country. Yes, his experience, but Russia is really short on quality, and it could be a disaster if the host nation fail to make it out of the group into the knockout stages.
Yeah, I think he's the only player I know that plays for the Russian team. Look, I think it's always tough when you're the host nation and you get knocked out in the group stages of a tournament in your own country. But I'm afraid to say that I can't see Russia going past the group stage.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for them, Alois.
Yeah, you know what is worrying for me about Russia is they didn't play, they didn't prepare. You know, we have seen World Cup host South Korea, Brazil. When they are hosting a tournament, you can actually feel it. That they went to this nation, they played so much friendlies, they got so and so in the team. Russia, they were just being Russia. They were just concentrating on building their stadium and just making it look nice and promoting the country. It's more like it's a tourism thing. For them, it's more to do with tourism than to actually have a team to compete. And I don't think they've actually built a team to compete.
Barry, was this a pride project for Vladimir Putin, for the Russian people, rather than it being a football project?
100%. And I think that it was that pride, the national pride that Bunj is talking about, that took precedence over the footballing minds, brains, thoughts. The voices weren't heard, the footballing voices, because the football team needed to be a project on its own to ensure that they had a strong football team. We should have heard some naturalization. The minute that they won the tournament, there should have been some naturalization of some players who were out in the diaspora, players who had young players who were being brought in and now playing for Russia. We didn't hear any of that.
Do they even really need to do that, Barry, or even with what they have? Just to say, okay, we're a competitive enough nation in terms of the infrastructure is there, the league is there. We've seen Spartak Moscow do well. We've seen CSKA Moscow do well, even in the Champions League. Those are teams that are well capable of scoring 1 or 2 upset victories, even against the likes of Manchester United and Liverpool in recent seasons. So they've got decent players. But I think we haven't seen, like Aloy said, that deliberate effort to prepare the team for a major tournament, to say, okay, guys, listen, this is more than just about us hosting this and us looking good to the world. This is about you guys being competitive. You know, I like the example that you brought in, Alois, of South Korea and Japan. No one would have given those nations a chance to go past their group stages. But remember, South Korea went all the way to the semi-finals of the tournament.
And that is the measure of preparation. I don't think Russia is prepared. Listen, they've got a nice soft start. They're starting with Saudi Arabia next Thursday, and I think they'll blow Saudi Arabia away, albeit that Saudi Arabia themselves look like they've taken the tournament very seriously in terms of their preparations. So that might not be a gimme. It might be a banana split. So hopefully they can have a good start and then show some spark in this tournament.
Pause, we've said that Uruguay look like the team that are likely to walk this group, or at least are likely to come first. Then you take a look at those, then that could join it. I think generally, having watched Saudi Arabia in their friendly matches, I didn't see enough quality for me to be convinced that they're going to be competitive. I expect them to be bottom of the pile. Does it come down to that match between Egypt and Russia to decide who joins Uruguay in the next round?
Yeah, look, I think Egypt will beat Saudi Arabia, and I think they'll beat Russia as well. So, for me, it's Uruguay and Egypt through in Group A.
For me as well.
All right, let's go to Group B then, boys. And the upset is a very real possibility as Morocco and Iran eye a major shake-up against traditional heavyweights Portugal and Spain in Group B at the World Cup. On paper, the Iberian outfits are better equipped to succeed in Russia, but the guidance of a pair of crafty, tactically strong managers gives the underdogs a genuine shot at displacing the favourites for progression. And let's take a look at those two sides. You look at Morocco. Morocco, you got to think to yourselves that they've got a shrewd tactician. Iran also another shrewd tactician in Carlos Queiroz. Listen, Bunj, in the dugout, they've got it right. On the field, do they have enough?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Iran will do anything. I think they'll get whitewashed in that group. Morocco will fancy their chances of getting 3 points. Once they get those 3 points from Iran, they hope that the other teams will hit each other. That's the trump card that Morocco might have. That may be a draw here, a draw between Portugal and Spain, and then they manage to draw maybe against Portugal and
get
beat,
you on goal difference.
Yes, then
it
can come to permutation.
Mathematics,
yes, but otherwise, it's everyone is Adaro Iran.
And on Morocco, okay, fine. Let's agree that Iran chances slim to no, but Morocco, Hervé Renard. This is the true test of his tactical ability, isn't it? I mean, he's won 2 African Cup of Nations.
You also have to then, there are always mitigating factors. I know it's a test for him, but he's not up against lightweights. He's up against the European champions in Portugal, featuring the prodigious talents of Cristiano Ronaldo. And then they're also up against Spain. You take a look at the Spanish side, you know, the experience and the quality in there. Gerard Piqué, Iniesta, Sergio Ramos, Sergio Busquets. You know, those are some of the if you have to ask who plays in your global first 11, those names will be featuring prominently in your squad at the moment. So for me, Spain look like they're the best side in this team. So what could work in Morocco's favor though is Spain. Portugal plays Spain in their first game. If Portugal loses that game, it's going to be very difficult. And also it then comes down to how many goals they lose by.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden then Morocco, instead of having to beat Portugal, will be saying to themselves, you know what, we beat Iran and then we get away with a draw versus Portugal and then we'll pip them.
Yeah,
that's it. Could come down to maths like that.
Mathematics.
Yes.
And
so
we
it becomes
saw Portugal
against Iran as well.
Pause. We saw Portugal go all the way to winning the European Cup based on mathematics. I mean, I think they went through the group stage as well, winning a football match, and then went on to win the cup outright. So if it comes down to mathematics, you've got to think yourself in the pedigree stakes of maths. Portugal is leading, but with Cristiano Ronaldo in your side, you've always got a chance, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Spain, Portugal, safely through.
Who goes through top of the group, Mike? Spain goes through top of the group, meaning that Portugal is going to have a tough opponent coming into the round of 16, won't they, Butch?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. If you always, it's a tournament, coming second, you're always going to face the possibility of playing a stronger team from the other group. And like we discussed earlier, yesterday, that the groups are they're actually sorted nicely, that we can actually foresee that this one is going top, this one is going second. So it's going to be very difficult for Portugal. Even if they struggle to get out of here, they'll still struggle again in the next round.
Okay, that is of course our build-up to Russia 2018, the FIFA World Cup. It continues right here on ZiFM Sport on a Friday when we take a look at Group C as well as D. We'll be giving it a skip tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow is always our short edition, and we like to keep it very informative and, of course, debate-worthy on a Thursday. So we'll be talking about the Mighty Warriors as well as the Warriors' exploits on the continent. Join Barry Menandi and Alois Bunjida for that show tomorrow. But you can join the team on Friday for a look at Group C and D at the FIFA World Cup.
It should be a good one. We'll catch you tomorrow. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Menandi, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. ZiFM Sport was brought to you by One Money, the mobile money service from Net1. One Money, it's one time.